It's the worst case scenario tragedy we've witnessed in Texas. I'm sure you've seen it by now. Very little, no warning. In most cases, we see the floods coming through and so many people killed in this situation, especially the groups of little girls. This is like the worst of nightmares, isn't it? Horrible stuff. So how can you prepare for this? I'm sure people on this channel have been thinking about that. And sure enough, I started getting messages, people asking, where can I get a life jacket? And I'll be honest with you, at first, when I got those messages, I was like, is this somebody's like deep, dark, demented humor? Is this a sick joke? But then I started getting more and more and more. And I realized they're serious. Where can I get a life jacket? And I'm like, this is the wrong mentality of preparedness, by the way. Sure. I mean, if one of those girls happens to have a life jacket on when the floods hit, maybe she would have survived. You may be thinking, oh, sure she would. She'd float. You don't understand how raging rapids work. You're hitting your head on logs, etc. It's not this pleasurable thing when you're in a water park going down the lazy river. It's violent and will kill you even with life jackets on. So anyway, there's two things you have to look at with this and why having a life jacket is just not conceivable. First off, we want to be able to prepare for any contingency, any problem. Would you agree? Does that mean everywhere you go you wear body armor? I mean, some of you probably do. Do you carry a fire extinguisher? Every time you fly in a plane, do you carry a parachute? I mean, think about this. Think about every possible disaster. Are you going to carry every single item? Does that mean you're going to carry this massive bug out bag to every soccer game you go to? It's not feasible. I mean, these girls going out for this little thing they had, this camp, I'm sure weren't even thinking about a flood coming through. There's a lot more things they probably had to worry about, like possibly a predator in the woods, both two-legged and other kinds, bugs coming in and biting them. There's so many things, and a flood was not one of the things they thought about. But they could have prepared for that, obviously. But here's the thing. Let's pretend you do have a life jacket. Great. Don't you think these girls already had a life jacket? Think of it this way. Some of them, I'm sure they knew how to swim. But even more so, don't you think they knew how to run? As the floods are coming down, I'm sure a couple of them were like, quick, run. And I guarantee that's what they tried to do, run. And I saw people even climb trees, and they still got swept away. So it's not having the life jacket that's going to save them. If that's the case, the running could have saved them. That's a complete wrong mentality, thinking you need a life jacket. This is the moral of the story, a absolute huge false sense of security for gear. You can't depend on the gear like this. Gear is there to help you. It's a tool. It's fantastic. But gear won't necessarily save your life. For example, I love camping. I've camped all my life. Tent camping, but most of the time I'd actually camp without a tent. Maybe not most, but quite a bit anyway. If you're way out in the rugged wilderness, when I used to camp up in the rugged Rockies of Colorado, way out in the middle of nowhere, way out in the middle of nowhere, we knew better than camping with a tent. You don't camp with a tent. Maybe you camp with a tarp over your head, so that way if it starts raining, there's nothing worse than trying to sleep with rain coming on your head. But you need to be aware of your surroundings even while you're sleeping. You still put alarms down. We would actually take cans with strings if something tried to come in toward the camp. But here's the thing. If you're in a tent, what's that doing for you? It's decreasing the light coming in. You can't see stuff coming at you. It's decreasing the sounds. It muffles the sounds of things coming at you. But it's certainly not going to stop your beautiful smells to some kind of bear wandering in your camp. You're just going to turn out to be some kind of like nylon wrapped burrito for the bears. So what you do is you camp without a tent. You make sure you sleep practically with one eye open out in the wilderness, out in the area, so you can sense your surroundings. If you have a tent, it's literally like burying your head in the sand. Uh-oh, can't see it, can't hear it, that bear's not there. Do you really think that little nylon, very thin nylon is going to stop a giant bear claw from coming in to get you? I see videos like Fail Army where the bears are climbing into cars. They're going to get through that tent and munch on you. Good news for them. Bad news for you. So you can't depend on the gear in situations like this. You become a human bear flesh popsicle, yummy, yummy. So you can't put your security in a tent. You can't put your security in a life jacket either. Instead, in both the situations, in all the situations, what you always need to do is be aware of your surroundings. That's what's going to save you. That's prepping. That's preparedness. Your surroundings, everything that's going on. I mean, look, let's say you're one of those camping girls and you get down there and maybe you've been trained a little bit. You don't have to be like an expert. You say, hey, camp master. I'm really not sure what camping group they're with, but camp master, there's signs like this is a flood area. Have you thought about that? Hey, camp master, look at those storms right there and the rain coming in. Shouldn't we at least check the weather and see what's going on here? Watching the surroundings. Hey, camp master, shouldn't we move a little bit to higher ground just to be on the safe side? But I find that more and more people, when it comes to like playing on the safe side of things, they say things like, it's not going to happen to us. I may be in this flood zone, but if a flood comes, we can get out fast enough. Those storms out there, They're not right here. It's not going to affect us. Maybe we'll get rain a little bit, but we're good. What if that floods had been a tornado? They come on pretty quickly. What if it had been some kind of attack of some type? All these things you need to look at, not simply just carry a life jacket and everything's just fine. So don't get caught up in the gear. Yes, obviously have gear. It helps you out. It literally can save your life. Obviously trying to keep warm, for example. But watching your surroundings can be equally, if not more important in saving your life and seeing what's going on. And that's the problem, because I find that people want to just kind of, like even preppers, be kind of sleepy, not really paying attention to my surroundings. Oh, this is scary. Okay, get a life jacket, kind of go back to sleep. You need to watch what's going on in every single thing you do. Always watching, always assessing, always checking out to see if it's a danger. Because guess what? Those girls who are camping, a life jacket probably would not have saved them. However, getting away from the danger before it even hit, guaranteed would have saved them if they moved to higher ground, if the people had been looking at their surroundings and made that decision. That's the problem. I'm not saying don't get a life jacket. If you want a life jacket in your gear, get a life jacket. In fact, I'll even link one below. We used to live on a boat. I know they're really good life jackets to have. So that's, maybe you want it in your stash, go for it. Get a life jacket for your stash. But I want you to understand, the gear, that life jacket will not save your life. It's the proper application of the life jacket and you preparing ahead of time by looking at your surroundings is what's going to really save your life. Would you even get the life jacket on in time? Probably not. So anyways, there you go. Food for thought, everybody. I want you to get a completely different mindset when it comes to prepping. It's not about gear. Have gear. But it's about keeping your mindset on preparedness at all times. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.